So in episode 12 of Cowboy Bebop here, we see basically that um, Spike's old girlfriend, fiance, wife, whichever the case may be, pretty much her name gets pushed out there, and Spike, um, being who he is, pretty much just kind of just shut everything else down that was at the time important to him to go after this young lady here. Now, as you can see from his expression on his face as he leaped from where he was sitting to come over to Ed here to ask her where that signal and stuff was coming from, the name and stuff, that he literally, like I said, he jumped, leaped, literally, when it's serious when uh, uh, something like this to occur for Spike to really truly take something like this very, very seriously. And I was just like, I was blown away by it. Like, man, like Spike, he really cared for this young lady, and he was looking to um, definitely come into her pathway once again. Now, of course, this causes a bit of a rift between Spike and Jet, because Spike, his priorities were basically on Faye in this episode because she leaves, she takes, basically the rest of their money, runs off, and Jet's like, whoever this Julia person is, who Spike never even mentioned to him about, um, which I also find kind of interesting, but whoever Julia is to Spike isn't as important as Faye is, and basically the money too, because he kept talking about this in episode 12, that this was more important. Like it definitely caused a rift between the two because they both had something important for each of them. Basically, in my own opinion, I believe that both were um, almost equally important for both situations. And like I said, it just caused that rift. Spike ended up leaving off, running off. Jet kind of was like, like, well, if fine, you go do your thing, good riddance, blah blah blah, and I'll be able to have more food and on the table and stuff like that. It was just this episode here, specifically in these moments, these roughly 4 minutes into the episode, was just very interesting and very different from what I've seen so far in this anime, guys. So without how much how much Spike literally leaped for a name specifically, just definitely brings a different side to Spike. Um, we definitely seen a different side to him when he faced off against Vicious. But this here in these little bit of moments, roughly like I said, 4 to 5 moments into the episode, was definitely dope to see. It was just really cool to see, guys. Different perspective and all of that. And Spike, he really cared for this young lady. Um, and like I said, I found it interesting that he never mentioned her to Jet at all, which was definitely interesting. Even though Jet mentioned his ex to to Spike, if I remember correctly. If I'm wrong, definitely correct me on that information. But if I remember correctly, he did mention um, his ex to Spike. But like I said, if I'm wrong, I'm definitely wrong on that assumption. But anyway, guys, that's enough of my rambling. What did you all think of this video? Let's have a conversation in the comments below if you feel up to it, and I will talk to you all in the next Cowboy Bebop video. Peace, guys.